How's it going, Freedom Traders? Jesse Ford here with episode 3 of my trading journey. This trading journey is following me as I go from never trading anything in my life to trading crypto, stocks, and Forex into financial freedom and beyond. So if you're new here, I hope you consider subscribing and tagging along on this journey with me. And if you get value out of this video at any point in time, please give it a like. It tells the YouTube algorithm that you really like what I'm doing and that more people should see it, and I really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's jump into week 3 that happened between June 20th and June 25th. The previous videos have been kind of jumbled, so I just kind of ramble on about how my week went. We're going to get a little bit more structured now. We got 3 sections in this video. Section 1 is going to be all the trades I took and the results. For anyone's wondering, I will explain my current trading system and how it went for me this past week. Section number 2 is going to be any patterns that I noticed in my wins and my losses. And then section 3 is going to be any pivots that I'm taking, whether small or big, on my trading system as I continue to craft and perfect and change what isn't working and do more of what is working, and eventually become profitable in my demo trading account right now. Once I do that for a consistent amount of time, I'm going to jump in with real cash. But until then, we're just on the paper trading. Section number 1, the trades I took and how the week actually ended up turning out. Real quick, the trading system I'm working on right now is I trade on trend lines. On the 4-hour chart, I wait for breaks and retests of horizontal levels that are formed during the 4-hour and the daily chart. Once it breaks, retests, and then I zoom in for a recent 15-minute high, and once I kind of have confirmation from that 15-minute high, I'll enter the trade and try to target the most recent 4-hour high, as long as it's a 1.5 or better. Now sometimes if I'm late on a trade, I'll maybe slide a little bit and try to do a one risk reward, but so far those haven't worked out either. So I'm learning that you really need patience in order to and find those right entries, because if you miss them, it's just not worth it. So as you can see along the bottom, this has been my track record for the past 3 weeks. As you can see, it's not super great. This week I ended up taking 25 trades for a possible, if I won every single one of them, I would have gained 50 units of return. That would be beautiful if I won all of them, but I actually lost 23 of them for negative 23 units of return. I did, in fact, actually win one during this week. It was 2 units of return, so it brought my net loss somewhere around, what was my net loss? And I ended up breaking even on one of them for about 0.15 R, so it was in the positive, but it was more closer to break even, so I just counted it as a break even. Because I've been risking 2% of my paper trading account per trade, that means I ended up losing about 39% of my trading capital this week. Pretty bad if you ask me. I started out with $92.71 and I ended up coming down to $56.27. So not very great, but let's jump into section 2, any patterns that I noticed. Now for the winning patterns, I am happy to say that I didn't figure anything out because I only won 1 trade. So literally, if I would have won 2 trades, I could have at least looked and see what was common, but I literally only won 1 trade. So I'm gonna have to wait till next week, testing this system again and perfecting it before I get some more winning trades and I can actually see what's working. However, on the flip side, I have plenty of losing trades, so I can actually see what is, if there's any commonalities in my losing trades. Number 1 that I've noticed is absolutely no entries in the Tokyo session. I've said this in the past, but I still keep coming back because the setup looks so good and I enter it anyway, and then it just absolutely crashes. It just never worked out well for me. And I'm sure there'll be some trades out there that are entered into the Tokyo session and they end up going into profit, but so far I just haven't crossed them. So I really am trying to eliminate as many factors as possible that cause me to lose. So no trading in the Tokyo session. For my time, that's going to be 2 a.m. No, wait. For my time, that's going to be 4 p.m. in the afternoon to about 2 a.m. in the morning. With my 4-hour break and retest, I've noticed on the chart that I will set alerts for the zone. As soon as price breaks the zone, then I'll set another alert that it's retesting and rejecting. And what I've noticed is sometimes in those 4-hour candles, as anyone that's traded knows, you can see price go back up and down a candlestick before it ever moves to another candlestick. And so I would see a candle break and then come back and retest and then reject all in one candlestick. And I'd be like, sweet, let's enter. And what I figured out was those trades have definitely ended up losing extremely bad because there wasn't enough confirmation on the reject within that one candlestick. So what I'm doing now is I'm requiring that once price breaks, I have to have a full 4-hour candlestick of it being above the zone before it comes back and touches it. That's even a lower wick touching the zone. If it touches it, it's disqualified and I'm not trading it. What I'm hoping this does is going to be much more profound breaks and much more profound retests, and so I can actually see the pattern happening on the chart, and hopefully when it comes and rejects, I'll be able to zoom in and find some legit 15-minute newer highs and enter the trade. And then the third pattern that I've noticed on my losers is every once in a while I'll get a trade that actually does reject and go up, but because of my target profits, they have ended up going about 75% of the way, and then it'll come crashing back down. So if I wouldn't have been so greedy with my take profit risk rewards and actually just very humbly target the 1.5 to 2 units of return for the recent highs on the 4-hour chart, I would have had a lot more winning trades. So that's what I'm going to do this week with those 3 things. No Tokyo sessions, waiting for clear breaks and retests on the 4-hour chart, and not being greedy with my take profit margins. I kind of just combined section 2 and section 3, but basically those are the exact pivots that I'm going to do this week. One more pivot that I'm going to mention to you guys that I'm really going to try and hone in on. Once you have the entire trade set up, you get so excited. I'm like zooming into the 15-minute highs and I'm setting an alert. I would set an alert on the trades seeing a 15-minute high when it comes down and retests the zone. And what I realized was it was giving me really bad entries, like way far up from the zone. So what I'm going to really look for, as soon as price rejects the zone, I'm going to look for that first 15-minute high, and then as soon as it dips down and then I get another 15-minute high, that's going to be confirmation for me. So I'm only going to look at the 15-minute highs on the rejection of the zone. I know it sounds redundant, but like I really think it's going to help my entries as well as momentum into positive units of return. Question of the day: trading systems are so important, and I'm just wondering what kind of trading system you are using. Feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'm super excited for this next week, and I hope you'll jump on the freedom train as we strive towards financial freedom. We will see you in the next video. Peace.